What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. This your man Mo. Got my man P in the building.
What up?
Got my man Hill on the line. What's going on, fellas? Um, we got the NBA Finals. 4 games in the bag. Denver Nuggets are up 3-1. They just recently wrapped up the Miami leg of the playoffs. I mean, the finals for them. The first leg of the Miami leg, as far as the first 2 games in Miami, and they took both games. I'm gonna start there. Are you guys surprised that they took both games in Miami?
Yeah, I am a little bit. No, I'm not. Yeah, a little bit because I mean it's home court. I mean, I know people who get on the Miami fans like it's not really a home court because they're not those rabid fans out there. But yeah, I thought Miami. See, that's how bad it is. I'm saying Miami should get one at home. They actually should have got two, but yeah, I would expect. I expected a split. If you have had a gamble, or to say they would have split Miami. So impressive.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. If you had put me to the question, I probably would have said I expected a split as well. I
Mm-hmm.
thought Denver would probably win game 3. I expected Miami to win game 4, honestly.
So, barring a 7-0 run and a 15-0 run, the series over, right? In game 2. With that being said, they're up 17 in game 2. So, barring that run, it's a sweep. But because we watch the games and this is what we should be getting paid for, I agree, because no one does it better than us. Every game, I thought Miami had a specific time in which there was a missed shot by Bam, a turnover, in which they've all been competitive. I mean, it could have been turns in which, because for Denver, I never think a lead is safe.
Mm.
And I can't put them together, but they catch a break every now and then, which most teams don't, which used to be 2-2 or even 3-1 Miami. Miami just has that heart of a dog, which I cannot stand, but they're never out of a game, even up plus 17, plus 19. They go on a run every single time. So am I surprised that they didn't win 1 at home? Yeah. I mean, I'm actually surprised they didn't win 2 at home, the way they've been playing. But Denver is a better team, which are similar to get some lucky breaks. So it seems like we're erring on the side of mainly on the better team actually winning when they're supposed to. You know what I mean? But to answer your question, yeah, I am surprised they didn't grab 1.
And to your point, Hill, I've always felt that as I've watched the series and these 4 games are going by, I felt like Miami was always in a position to be competitive, but I always felt that they were just lacking, whether it be due to injuries with Hero and Oladipo being out of rotation and having fewer bodies to throw into the mix. I think Denver has proven since the first round that they're pretty much running 8 or 9 deep at this point with their bench, and they have a pretty deep bench, and the talent it's a mismatch, like you said. I think Denver just has too much talent. I think, but Miami is the team that can take advantage of lapses in concentration, and I think that's what you had in game 2. I think that's what Miami will be banking on to take the win in game 5 to stay alive in this series. But I think if Denver's locked in and everybody's bought in and all in on their plan, they should win. You know, and I think we've all been pretty clear on that. Um, I personally would like to see a Miami win because I like to see hard work and somebody willing their team to win just off of grit and substance. I love those stories. But hey, at the end of the day, Denver is the more talented team, and they should win this series. And I think I'm hoping that they prove me right. I said Denver in 6, so I'm thinking Miami got one more in them. I think Jimmy Butler has one more in them. Just give you one for the pride, and then Denver locks in and closes it out.
I mean, credit to Bam, because we saw, like we spoke about, we saw LeBron James defend him in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
He simply is not going to grow an extra 3 inches. Just having that steady factor with Joker, with just the height advantage, and being able to distribute from that top of the key. I mean, he has become that slot high post zone breaker, which kills other teams. But for what we always argue about is intelligence, and I hate to demean. I don't know if that's a good word. It just seems that when it comes to the zone and the way Miami plays physical, and it affected Jamal Murray to the fact of he was getting deep into the shot clock. They're pressing him full court, and they'd be a little more physical with him. But having Jamal at the point still, and Joker at the high post making decisions. I mean, Jamal, even pressured, had 12 assists and no turnovers. I mean, it says something for just not being dumb. You know what I mean? Have two great thinkers who have ball usage. Maybe I wouldn't know, but I'm thinking Joker's maybe in the high 30s and Jamal's 20.
But I think overall Denver has a basketball team with a pretty high basketball IQ. Outside of even Jamal and Joker, like, hey,
having a ball in their hands, majority, you're always going to get something good.
And I think that's the thing, like you were talking about earlier, Mo, with Miami playing hard. Like, I think Denver plays hard also, and they play smart also. So, you know what I mean? Like, so the deciding factor is that talent. Like, if they didn't play hard, if they were too cool for school, then Miami, you know, we've seen Miami beats those teams. You know what I mean? They beat teams that are more talented than them because they play harder than them, they play smarter than them. I also want to give Aaron Gordon credit, because I don't know if it's or Mike Malone, or it could be both. Like, I just feel like Aaron Gordon is just in the paint saying, well, no one's bigger than me here. You know what I mean? Like, him and Bam are pretty much the same height. So that's like the only threat for Aaron. And he could shoot over him still, like I said, they're the same height. But I think that is a big factor, where Denver is just a bigger team.
And like you said, shouts out to Malone. I mean, we're saying Spo deserves a statue, which we're not going to take away from him because he's this far.
Right.
And Spo's amazing. But Malone picking buttons, saying that I'm going to switch the rotation. I'm going to lower Michael Porter's minutes. I'm going to bring in Brown. I'm going to bring in Brown.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the right time, he brings in Bruce, and he gives you 15 Vinnie Johnson points right off the bench.
Yeah.
Brown is giving you hard cuts, good defense, aggressiveness to the hole. You know what I'm saying? So he's making the right choices at the right time. And even Uncle Jeff has some quality 3-pointers during those runs. You know what I mean? So this team they've just been the better team throughout the playoffs. And unfortunately, we haven't watched. They might have just been the better team throughout the year.
Yeah, because they've been pretty much the number 1 seed for the entire season. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think this series would have been a little bit more competitive if Miami came to the finals completely healthy? Do you think a hero could have, changed the dynamics of this series? You're talking about at least a 20-point score that they don't have.
You would think so, but when they had Tyler Hero, most people had him going out in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, he was there all season, or most people for the season. I don't want to say they're better without him, but I don't want to say they're better without him.
I mean, he was their leading scorer on a team that barely made the playoffs. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was their leading scorer, but it was so clearly. I would think you would need him. For one, he's another playmaker. I don't think it should hurt, but since he led your team and you barely made the playoffs, it hurt somewhat.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, I think maybe there is no difference because they made it to the finals in the bubble with him. They made it now without him. Maybe there is no difference. I don't know how you. Yeah, maybe Caleb Martin and all these other guys don't get a chance to shine if Tyler Herro's there. So it's difficult to say. I think Denver still beats them.
What about with the combination of him and Victor Oladipo?
Okay, now we're talking. A healthy Victor Oladipo. Well, an Indiana Pacer healthy Victor Oladipo. Like Victor Oladipo in Miami, I don't think it would make a difference. But if he ever could return to that Indiana form, then yeah.
Well, if you, P or you, Mo, would have scored 2 points, you would have outscored their backcourt. So I think they could have gave something. Their backcourt gave you 2 points.
Yeah,
so
that's tough.
I think you're just erring back to the mean. You know what I mean? They're the others.
Yeah.
And you're going to be closer to your average or your actual talent when the cream rises. And you're getting that. You're getting they're who they are. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bang on them like this, but
go ahead and bang on them. You're banging on them.
Jimmy gets to the point where you see his stats and you say he had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should be more aggressive during the end of the games.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know he's getting.
And I agree with you on that. I
he
think
plays it well. I think he just needs to start jacking. He clearly has a strength advantage, or whoever is sticking him, or a speed advantage if someone else has a strength advantage over him. So he's clearly a mismatch. Get to the cup, get fouled. He has a propensity of doing that, and just give me droves and droves of that in the fourth quarter. And I think you might have at least a different result in one of these games. But he loves to tend to take the "I'm okay" background, and they lose some of these games. But I can't argue it because they're in the finals. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I would like to see a more aggressive Jimmy during this finals. I think that's kind of the line that kind of separates him and Kawhi, in my mind, as far as the type of players they are. I think Kawhi, in a similar position, he doesn't let up his foot off the gas. He doesn't take his foot off the gas. He keeps it on, and he doesn't even look at the break. I think Jimmy has too often there are times where he's stopping and thinking, or stopping and trusting his teammates to come through with it. And I think what separates a player like Jimmy from a player like Kawhi is Kawhi says, "Hey, once I have this advantage, I'm gonna make you choke on it until you stop me, and then I'll make the right basketball play. But as long as I have this advantage, and you're not doing anything different to stop me, I'm gonna make you pay every time down the court. And when only until you stop me will I start getting into the flow of, all right, here, Kyle Lowry, here, Strus. I would like to see Jimmy take a little bit more of that attitude during this finals.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting fact. I mean, you're getting contributions from relics. I mean, Kyle Lowry showed up last night. Kevin Love turned into Larry Bird for a second there. I mean, these finals more than likely will be over Monday.
Yeah.
You can't, if they're gonna. That's their tank right there. What they get, Love, I don't think is gonna give you that. Kyle Lowry's not gonna give you that. run down from a full court push down and get a bank shot three.
Yeah, and I think Butler and Bam are playing well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect Butler to continue what he's been doing in the playoffs. So I feel like he's playing well. Denver's just better. I don't know. Like, Butler, he would have to continue to play out of his mind for them to even get back in this series at this point.
Fellas, you talk about Butler and Bam. Let's talk about the duos in this series. I really want to talk about Denver and Jamal Murray and the Joker. And that duo. Can we make an argument for them being probably the best duo in the NBA at this time?
Yeah, I want to make amends because if you had asked me the top 10, I'm not sure if they would have been in the top 10 at the beginning of the season. For me, if they were, they would be like in the bottom, easily at the bottom 10. And they definitely beat in Phoenix and LA two guys I would have put in the top 5. I mean, I know Durant got there during the half season, but beginning of the playoffs, I would have told you Durant and KD, obviously AD and LeBron. I mean, I'm sorry, KD and Booker and LeBron and AD was a better duo. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of it comes from they came from pedestrian starts. And I mean, I love Jamal Murray in Kentucky, so I never thought it would be this. And Joker was a second round pick, and they both came off the bench, at the beginning of their career. So there was some speculation to who they could be in general. So that their development from 7 years is leaps and bounds. And then the bubble is when it all came together. But at the same time, Joker wasn't Joker from the bubble. So it's a weird marriage how it came together. We were questioning Joker. We thought Jamal Murray and Spider was taking that next step to overtake maybe Steph and Dame. You know what I mean? So, and then when he got hurt, Jamal was thinking like, don't trade me or don't cut me. You know what I'm thinking? And Malone's thinking like, are you crazy? You're a jewel, which we see in our system. Like, is not a way. And that security from the team and Jamal trying to prove it together is just like one happy marriage, which in turn, Mo, to defend you, we were saying like, I was saying like, this is straight through Jamal from the bubble. And Joker took it upon himself those 2.5 to 3 years to say, let me take that next step. And hats off to you and Kyle saying it, like saying like, this guy's a different type of beast. And I don't know if it's the upper West, we don't give enough respect to unless you're punching us in the mouth like Dame. But no, the respect for these two. And P, you're being nice. I wouldn't have had him in the top 10. And I love Jamal Murray. And I just felt that Joker was pretty much a pattern. But he took a huge step just this year. Forget the two MVP because he still was a liability. I mean, he is to some point now, but he's playing even better defense now. He's contesting Bam's dunks. I'm seeing him take an effort to be a better defensive player. Yeah, he takes that step where he's a good defensive player and an upper echelon offensive player. You might unlock something I've never seen in the center from my time because he's way more refined skill-wise than Shaquille is. Or Shaquille was.
And I think that was one of the things I had too with him, especially during his 2 MVP campaigns, is that he was such a liability on the defensive end. And even though he was a savant on the offensive end, you wanted him to at least be competitive on the defensive end. And for so long, he wasn't even competitive on the defensive end. And I think now we're seeing a Joker that's being at least competitive on the defensive end. I still don't think he's a good defender, but I think he's being competitive. He wants to compete on the defensive end at the very least. And as good as he is on offense, I'll take that. That's all. Like from players like him, I think I say Kyrie, Steph. Hey, just be competitive. Just don't be a walking doormat. have a little bit of resistance, and I'll take what you give me. And I think if Joker could maintain this level of competitiveness on the defensive side going forwad, yeah, history's going to have a lot of good things to say about him at the very least.
And P, you see it, right? I feel like I'm playing when Joker's on defense and on offense. He's so smart. You know what I mean? I'm watching KCP play so hard, and KCP is always overplaying the wing backdoor cut. And Joker had like 3 kickballs, one hand out laying, and I'm like, backdoor, backdoor, backdoor. And Joker is seeing it while the guys are cutting it, while he's looking at the passer right in front of him. It's just his basketball IQ. Yeah. And it's simple to us, but watching it, I'm screaming, I'm like, backdoor, KCP, you're overplaying. Michael Porter, you're overplaying. Jimmy, great hard cuts.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Struss, all these guys were cutting back. I mean, Spo was throwing the kitchen sink at them, and this guy's kicking the ball in the front like a soccer goalie.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's playing a video game where he's controlling the whole team. You know what I mean? Like right. Once you make the pass, he's already on the second, third pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you can't say enough about his and really the entire team's IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And and kudos to Calvin Booth, the whole organization, because in light of all these the movement of all these coaches being fired, and 7 years they stuck with Malone, and it's bearing fruit right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Hill, I kind of credit this thought to you, in the sense that, who do you think is most important in this championship run that Denver is making? Is it Joker or is it Jamal Murray? I know for the longest times you often said, "Hey, listen, the only time they got to the finals is when Jamal Murray was in there, and then he got hurt, and Joker had his 2 MVP seasons where he wasn't able to get past the second round." Lo and behold, Jamal Murray comes back, his first healthy season, and now they're in the finals. Some would argue that Jamal Murray has been the missing piece for the championship puzzle for the Denver Nuggets, as opposed to a Joker.
I'll put it this way: I am a Jamal Murray. I'm glad to have him back, but when you're talking about when that game they lost for game 2, that they did a great job on Joker when it was 27 and they held him to 4 assists. When you're talking those type numbers, now that he had a bad game with 27 and 4, it's Joker. He doesn't. You don't have bad games when you're doing that.
The game they lost,
was it 21 and 4?
I think he scored like 42, right? The game they lost.
Yeah, was it, you sure? Or was it 27 and 4? Might have been 27
and
4.
It was the 42 game that he lost.
And 4 assists?
I think so. Because it was the 42-point game, because that's where everybody was saying that, oh, so you're allowing Joker just to be a scorer instead of a
okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's a bad game. 42 and 4. You know what I'm saying? Like we're content on him getting 40 and just not involving everyone else. Like he's consistent double. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're finding a way to get a bad game out of that. Jamal, this last game, he might have went maybe 5 for 15. We had no turnovers. You know what I mean? But those stretches, he'll have 20 points in the other games. The no turnover is huge to me. And when they were down 5, it was those clutch, coming off the curl, turnaround threes that will put them up 8 and have that room to, have them seesaw up 13. It was never really too much under 5 or 6 because he would make the right dish, the right play. I think they're just so married to each other that it's probably 51-49 but make no amends about it. That 51 is just shit. I mean, joke. Clutch threes. You saw the game. You know what I mean? Pull-ups, drives, and when they're pressing, he's breaking the press. And because they're letting him play quite a bit, you literally can call a foul on Bam running up the floor trying to stay with him when he's breaking the press by holding on to Joker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's clearly Joker, but it's a nice problem to have because there's no egos.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're probably equally important. I think Joker's a better player, and it doesn't matter because they're on the same team.
Right.
But I think the importance is equal. I don't think neither one of them have success without the other. I think it's a Scottie Pippen situation, right? Like, people argue, well, Jordan never won without Pippen. Duh. He's one of the, he's one of the top 50 players of all time. Of course, it's going to increase the chances playing with a player that talented. So I feel like Jamal Murray being healthy, of course, Joker is going to win more games. And I think vice versa. Like, there's plenty of talented players like Jamal Murray who lose in the first round because they don't have a player like the Joker with them. You know what I mean? So I think they're just two really talented, high IQ basketball players that work well together.
Now, let me get the answer to the question I initially started this off with. Do you consider them the best duo in the NBA?
They're one win from me saying hands down. Like I don't, because you can't tell me KD or Booker. You can't tell me LeBron and AD. So where are we going with this?
And they swept the Lakers.
Right. It's not close.
Demolished.
Right. So Embiid hard. Like I said, they won't win from me saying it's not close.
Phil, your thoughts?
I'm there already. I'm trying
so
to
you
find,
already have them as the best duo.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually justify duos. I'm trying to find the duos that I can actually put towards being in a conversation. I have them as the best. I just don't even know if you have duos anymore.
Yeah, truthfully, they're duos. But well, put it this way: there's a lot of duos and all-star duos.
I think you have duos on every team.
But
do we really have duos though?
The only championship duo I could think of is LeBron and AD. And everybody, then there's everybody else. Like Tatum and Brown are a really good duo, but
they might take a backseat.
Don't forget, what about Hill's favorite duo out in Milwaukee, Giannis and Middleton?
They don't have a duo.
And now I think it might be Giannis and Drew.
And that's a bad one.
And like and to be fair, we gotta. Well, no, we don't have to do anything, but I would give Butler and Bam some credit because if you whoever you think the duo is in Milwaukee, they beat them. Whoever you think it is, they beat them. Tatum and Brown, right? The next Scottie and Mike, they beat them. So I mean, I think Bam and Jimmy have to be in the discussion. I would say top 5.
You got Steph and Clay, Steph and Draymond. I mean,
yeah, that's legitimate.
Healthy. And I hate putting these two out there because they're always a what if. Yeah, Paul George and Kawhi, but they're never healthy.
Yeah. That's stuff that you even mentioned.
I don't know if we're gonna go there anymore.
Because I haven't seen them play together enough to even confirm that they are a duo.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's probably this Denver. If they finish the job, you go LeBron and AD, and then there's about like 10 people on that next tier. To be honest, you know what I mean? Like Paul George and Kawhi as a duo playing together. I mean, you could put the Rose and Levine there. Because I mean, as far as playoff success.
I mean, we haven't seen them play together.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, when you say that, we're just saying talent because if we go for results,
Definitely not even close. I mean, you got Fox Sabonis is got better results than they do.
Right.
Yeah, they played.
But talent-wise, I always bring them up, and that's my fault. I you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no, you're looking at the talent.
every team has one. I mean, Brunson and Randall was a sick duo.
Yeah, you got to give them some credit.
I know more. I get it. You have,
I mean,
Trey Young, Capella. I mean, you have duos, but I don't think you really have duos. I mean, Kyrie, and you want to throw up in your mouth. You got Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah, that's the most. That was clearly that was the most disappointing duo this year.
That was not well thought out. I think the party's over in Philly. I don't think they're going to be together for too much longer.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Like if you keep them together, who cares? They can't beat nobody. Like you know what I mean? Like that's how I'm starting to look at a lot of these. You know, especially like the off season coming up. Oh, is this person going to get traded? What is this team going to do? And I'm looking like it's not going to matter. Can you bag Denver? That's pretty much my question to all these teams at this point. Can you bag Denver? Can you bag Miami?
We talk about best duo, and obviously we think Denver has the best duo right now in NBA, or even just for its finals. But I want to talk a little bit about Miami a little bit. First, I'm going to say a statement, and then I'm going to ask a question. The statement is, can my man Jimmy Butler finally get some respect on his name? And the question is, where does Jimmy Butler rank in the lexicon of Miami Heat players?
Two questions. Those are two questions. First one.
No, first one was a statement. I just that's a statement.
Can is a question.
Well,
the answer to can question is no.
Put some respect on my boy's name, man.
My ranking will give you my statement depending on what you and Hill decide to your question or
where do you rank Jimmy Butler in the Miami Heat lexicon?
I feel he's third, so yes. Behind I would go Wade because of the longevity. I would go Wade, LeBron, and then Jimmy. I still think Wade might not be the best player to put on a Miami Heat uniform, but I think he's the best Miami Heat player, if that makes any sense.
This is accomplishments, I guess, accomplishments driven, just not talent-wise.
Right.
No, I mean, yeah.
Hill, where do you have Jimmy ranked in the Heat lexicon? Don't let it hurt you, brother.
And you got to add results. And without, I mean, to be fair, I have Dwayne Wade. I have LeBron James.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I have Alonzo Mourning. I got Chris Bosh. I got Tim Hardaway.
My man can't get no respect, man. Wow. That's where we at? That's where we at, Hill?
Steve Smith, Ronnie Cycli, and Jimmy Butler. Wasn't better than those people to me. And Miami, and Miami folklore, he's probably eighth. Simple results, he's eighth.
It's provocative.
I mean, to be fair,
no respect for my man Jimmy, yo.
Well,
no respect, yo.
Well, to be fair, right?
You got a lot of bus riders up ahead of him. that only got accomplishments.
But here's my thing
once
with
the
here's
first two
my
dudes
here's
came
my
to
here's
town.
my thing with here's my thing with the list. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Are you putting more weight on his championship or their championships?
Who you talk about? Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway.
Right. Alonzo Mourning was a better Heat player than Jimmy Butler. I mean, because you're going on what the fact that Jimmy has his 3 championships, or what? What's he going on here?
I'm going on the fact that Alonzo Mourning was never able to get the Heat to the finals
and win a championship. And Jimmy Butler got them to a finals and lost. So we're at the same place. You don't get that respect until you win. I don't. You hold it against Karl Malone and Stockton. You hold it against Barkley.
True.
He's not in their league. He's more closer to Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway is than he is to Barkley and Malone. Jimmy Butler is an okay player.
No.
Tim Hardaway is the Hall of Famer. Jimmy Butler will eventually become a Hall of Famer, which he shouldn't be. Jimmy Butler is a good player. Tim Hardaway is a Hall of Famer. Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer with hardware. I mean, it depends. Wow. You think Ray Allen is better than Jimmy Butler for their career?
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I don't have it close, but okay. I don't find it close, Ray Allen and Jimmy Butler's career. No, I think Ray Allen was a way better player than Jimmy Butler.
And we're talking about his Heat career.
Ray Allen is the reason why they're having a championship. Well, he hit. I don't even think it's arguable. I think he hit like the most important shot in NBA Finals history.
And just so you know, Mo, he forgot Shaq. I believe.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
Shaq was a shell of himself. He's better though. He's better. You're right. I did forget.
Wow.
I did forget.
Yeah. Wow.
That's who I had.
You remember everybody on that bench who didn't play besides that.
No, but that's who I had. Yeah. So that's why I say I'll give him his props. If I put him ahead of Shaq for Miami.
I'm watching. I don't get it. Like, because we do watch the regular season.
Yeah.
And that plays a part.
No, yeah, like I said, I think I said off air, he's really he's like baby Kawhi, where the postseason
in the playoffs. Once he's in overdrive on
right.
the give or take 24, 25 games, he puts it into overdrive. But for 82 game season, he's
regular.
He's just like I think he's in his mid-20s during the regular season, like 23, 25 points a game, and then ramps it up to
he gives you
28.
He's been up there, but he's in the range of usually regular season wherever he's been 19 point something, 24, 25 points a game.
Yeah, and now, especially like you look at it this season, you got like 7 guys averaging 30, so 25 is kind of like the new 20. It's the new 20.
25. 27, 28.
Yeah. So however people want to take it, I just think he's baby Kawhi.
I mean, that's just Miami not having a lore of a history. But even so, I still find players that I find better than Jimmy Butler in Miami.
Shout out to Steve Smith and Glenn Rice, by the way.
So for you, Jimmy Butler has to win it in order to get the respect.
Well, he will never get my respect.
Yeah,
answer is yes. Answer is yes.
Hey guys, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. What does Jimmy Butler have to do to get your respect? Does he already have it? Let us know on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. And you can hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe where you listen to this podcast. Fellas, I want to talk about one of the players I think is not really getting enough mentions, and I think people are starting to talk about him a little bit. He had a pretty big game last night. I think he scored 27. Gave him a 27-point double. I forgot what he had to rebound. I want to talk about Aaron Gordon. I think he's been that third piece in this championship run for Denver. He's been that Mr. Utility guy in the sense that, hey, he's been defending the opponent's best players most of the times. He was defending Kevin Durant, LeBron James, just to name a few of the people that he had assignments on. And he seemed just to be in the right place at the right time and giving Denver that boost that you've seen from players like Lamar Odom or Draymond Green. Are you guys seeing this, or am I just bugging?
Oh no, he's definitely stepped his game up. I think he's found his niche not only for the team but like in the league. You know what I mean? Like he was pretty much just a young talented player, and that's it. You know what I mean? More than anything, I feel like he's figured out how to contribute to winning basketball, championship basketball. So yeah, everything you said is true. I know you want to go over Aaron Gordon, which he deserves all the flowers you want to give him, but even like Bruce Brown, you know what I mean? Living in New York and watching the Yes Network and seeing him play for the Nets, he got better. He was basically just a slasher cutter. What is he like? 6'2", 6'3"? I felt like he was like a power forward at 6'2" or 6'3". He was effective doing it, but I was just like, how is he doing this? But you see him on Denver, he's actually more like a point guard. His handle's gotten better, his 3-point shot's gotten better. He even said he worked on it all summer because teams were basically daring him to shoot, and he felt disrespected. So I think, yeah, him and Aaron Gordon just like something clicked. Call it culture in Denver, coaching. I don't know, but something clicked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from probably one of the greatest cultures in this game, the Orlando Magic, making him their 1A scorer, which they bestowed on him. That's not his fault. Coming out of Arizona, we thought him being an athletic high flyer, they thought he would be Tracy McGrady. I mean, that's just for Orlando. So I think if we go back to the show, and Kyle and I was talking about just a little pickup that Denver, way back when they picked him up, we said, that's a good pickup for Denver. And it got scoffed at as...
Yeah, that was... I don't remember. It's probably me.
Right, but it's because of the lack of culture or basketball knowledge of Orlando that there's something in it where a really good culture in Denver, because they've been doing it for a while. It's just that we saw Denver as just Denver.
It was a slow build. It was right. A super team put together in the offseason.
Their play development has trusted these players to get better. Brown, the law firm. Brown, you can rush like KD in Brooklyn, but that's another one with great culture. You know what I'm saying? So but you guys go out there, you're talented with these two. Instead of developing these players, they went there and all due respect to Aaron Gordon, he bought in and said, I know myself to be something that can help a team, and I'm not a 1A. And I'll humble myself and learn the game which I can be a contributor. And he has the capability to give you these 20-point games because of the fact that he is a not-foreseen threat as opposed to a Joker or a Jamal Murray. But I have capabilities to score off the ball and throw numbers up, and Brown can. You know what I'm saying? Because Brown was nice in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So something to say about the culture in both of these squads in Miami as well as Denver. I think these organizations are premier. How do you do it right? You know what I mean? So yeah, hats off to Aaron Gordon for buying in and them developing him. It's just it's a perfect marriage.
Yeah, I mean, now you're going to think of him as, historically as a piece to the championship team, whereas before, me personally, my memory of him is jumping over Puff the Magic Dragon or over whatever their Orlando mascot was. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'll be honest. Like, kudos to him. Pretty good basketball player. I looked at him like he was a carnival act.
You're talking about the robbery at the All-Star game.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's what that dunk contest
He's the Blake Griffin that we're gonna remember.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, and staying with Denver, Michael Porter Jr. What do you think of his play during this finals? I feel like you kind of have to separate what he's done in this finals from what he's done in the Western Conference playoff run that they had. Because honestly, I think I'm seeing two different players until last night. Last night he seemed to come alive a little bit, but it seemed to be two different players up until last night.
Yeah, on our show we pretty much call it what it is. He's stinking it up. He's had a good playoffs. He's stinking it up, and he just has to play better. Like, you have to remember, what is he, like 21, 22? He's a pretty young player, so I think it's good that he's at Denver. I think they'll be patient with him, and honestly, I think he'll be better next year.
Which is scary. I think that is Pandora's box right there, that if they unlock him and he gets the confidence of my back is not going to go or my legs aren't going to go, and he is 21.
Right.
So this stage could be too huge for him. All these things coupled together, I just think it's just overwhelming. I see him doing a Euro and missing a point-blank layup. I see him at the rim missing point-blank layups. I see him getting spot-up threes. No one can contest, and he's missing them. I just think the moment is too big, and he came back from injury. Everything coupled together, it's just that luckily, like you said, he's on Denver to get it right, to get a chip, feel comfortable and feel confident again, in which that's someone you can really pass off an offense for if Jamal and Joker are out. He's that dominant. He has the height where you can't block a shot, the speed and the power.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just
contract-wise,
like his experience too. Like, he really doesn't have any experience. Like high school, he was like pretty much any other high school McDonald's All-American. He was the guy, right? In college, he played maybe all of 2 games. So these pressure situations, he's just not familiar with them. Like, he's probably not familiar with close games, really. Not with these high stakes. So, I'm not really worried about it. But he's definitely, I'm gonna be clear, he's stinking it up in the finals. But what I saw in the playoffs gives me hope that he's gonna get better and he's gonna be more comfortable in the spotlight.
I mean, his chase down block. I mean, he's picking his spots, but his leaping ability and his way to cover ground with his length, he has all the tools. And it's not like he's skinny; he's bulk.
And again, I don't know if you call it coaching or culture. Like, him and Joker, yeah, I can't say they got better on defense because it is effort, but they're definitely showing us way more effort on defense. You know what I mean? Like,
they're being competitive.
Like, you would think Porter and Joker were both. I would just try to go and pick and rolls with both of them, try to hit one of them. But I think now you don't really hunt either one of those guys. You know what I mean? Now I'm not giving them my vote for all defensive team just yet, but they're improving on the defensive end.
And I want to be clear with our audience that, hey, we are differentiating how Michael Porter Jr. played in the Western Conference playoffs as opposed to these finals. And I think that's the inspiration that P is talking about, as far as, hey, knowing that the talent is there and all the pieces are there. It's just about, hey, how he brings it forth. And in the Western Conference playoffs, he impressed me, and I saw the competitiveness that he brought in on the defensive side. And I think once he does that and ties it all together, he's a dangerous player, to Hill's point, that he could be that third piece in a big three scenario for Denver. So definitely.
We're talking dynasty now if he gets unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, NBA. You got at least 5. I mean, if everyone stays healthy, you got at a minimum like 5 years of this.
It's in good hands. I mean, I don't.
Do we feel that way even with Wemby on the way?
Who?
Yeah, it might take 5 years for him to even like get to this point. You know what I mean? Like, because you need the surrounding parts.
I think Wemby will be a funny draw, though. I think he's gonna LeBronish. I think a lot of people, the way he plays and his humbleness, the way he seemed to be, I think you're gonna see a few players finding their way over to guide him. That's one place I think Chris Paul should go if you want to say the twilight of your years.
I think Wemby and Pop, that combination is going to be a big deal for a lot of people.
Pop, of course.
Speaking of culture, yeah, he's at the right place. By the way, they got their doors blown off today. His team in Paris by like 30 at the half. I think he might have scored 4. They just sat him because there was no reason. But so that's why I say he's going to need people around him. You know what I mean?
He's gonna have some growing pains.
Yeah. So I think Denver doesn't have to worry about him for another, like, I would say at least 2 years. Like, I don't think next year no one's worried about San Antonio next year.
Yeah.
And speaking of such, we know his talent when we saw him. Where is he playing? I just thought about that. Where are you playing him?
I think you play him like you play Joko or Kevin Durant, a hybrid of the two. Hey, on defense, you definitely have him protecting the rim in that aspect. But on offense, it depends on how he catches it. Like, hey, if he catches the rebound, I'm not telling him not to bring it up.
Where you lining him up at? Where you got him at? 3, 4, 5?
I think defensively, you might want to put him at the 4, depending on who's in town, right? Like, I know MB doesn't post up a lot, but that wouldn't even be close.
No.
That wouldn't even be close. Joker, like, against MB the Joker, put him at the 4. Save yourself, because that's foul trouble waiting to happen. Against, say, a Bam or a Golden State or something like that. I don't know. Looney might even get something off with him, but I think you'll put him at the 4. But it depends what San Antonio's look, because now you're going to need another 7-footer to play with him to guard a Joker, to guard an MB. It's not that many.
But Ralph Sampson led the league in blocks one time. But it's that initial block you get where he helped pat his stats to be. It's just when they get it back is when they sent Ralph through the front row, though.
Yeah, I think a majority of his blocks are going to be like off help. You know what I mean? Like, I think most centers. Well, actually, no. In today's NBA, it's weird. I think you could put him at the 4 and the 5. I think it really depends on the matchup. You know what I mean? Against Miami, you could play him at the. I think you could start him at the 5 against Bam.
I think against most teams, you could put him at the 5P. To your point, there's not a lot of centers out there that like to post up to begin with. You know what I mean? Yeah. And honestly, that's the only reason why I wouldn't put him at the 5 is that, Embiid's going to put his big behind on him and get him in foul trouble. But Embiid don't like going down there. He likes starting out from the 3-point line. I can have Wemby stick him out there. I think Wemby's puppies is fast enough to stay with any big man in the league that likes to do that.
Yeah, no. If Embiid does that, yeah. But when he comes to Colorado, don't do it. I seen Joker will bully him.
And that's the only things you will have to worry about is a center that's willing to do that. Like, I think a lot of these centers nowadays, a la Cat, a la Joel Embiid, like to hang out at the 3-point line a lot. They don't like to go down in the paint and brutalize people. They don't like to be bullies. They like to be finesse scorers. And in that world, I think Wemby's going to strive.
Now it's going to be interesting to see how much he posts up on the offense. You know what I mean? Can Pop get him to post up and take advantage of his size advantage in the post? Because my fear, don't become Porzingis. Don't become Porzingis.
Yeah.
Don't do it, man.
You say other people. I mean, don't count Bam out. I think Bam's one of his best offensive traits is attacking Joker. You know what I mean? Joker's playing better, but getting him into foul trouble, Bam is physical. Yeah. And I think that should be one of the game plans Spo should go into, and that's getting Bam the ball more and attacking him and get him out of the game with foul trouble. Mm-hmm. And Bam could send Wemby to the front row too.
I'm more looking, and you're right, but I'm more looking like he's just so much taller than him.
Yes.
Like almost like you could just wait until Bam elevates. You know what I mean? Like the height disparity is so much. I mean, we'll see.
So much force, though. It should be interesting.
Yeah.
So, before we head out, fellas, I want to ask, how do y'all got this series ending up?
Oh, I got it ended on Monday. Yeah, in Denver, it's over.
I got
it in 5.
Playing close and losing close. I have Denver closing out Monday, but I have Miami competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to keep hope alive for my man Jimmy Butler, and I'm going to say Miami comes back and wins Game 5.
He loses Game 5. What do you?
Don't be disrespectful.
What is?
Don't be disrespectful.
2022, 2023. What do you tell me, Jimmy Butler? What is he? What did he do? He got into the finals. They lost in 5. What is Jimmy Butler then? All said and done. Let me know. I'm curious.
I would say Jimmy Butler is at least a top 15 talent in the NBA.
He's top 15 player. Because I think they have him top 15 player. He's definitely not a top 15 talent. Clearly not.
You know what? I just thought about it from a historical standpoint, regular season aside, we discussed that. He's kind of Drexler, right? Didn't Drexler make 2 finals with Portland and took the L? Yeah. So he's Drexler, but I don't know if he's going to get to see the dream shake.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the problem. Yeah.
and
I won't throw any unnecessary shots at Clyde Drexler. Let's just say that I was a Jordan guy.
We're heading out, and I see Mo right now waving the flag. Let's get out of here.
No, wow.
He's not. He's not.
Hey guys,
he's not fair to Clyde Drexler. He's not. He's not.
Hey guys, let us know what you guys think. Where does Jimmy Butler rank among NBA players today?
We just Drexler play too, which is not even fair.
And
we didn't like him. We didn't like Clyde Drexler.
No, we did not. No, we did not.
Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like and notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to this podcast. And you can hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com.
That's how you end the show.